There was one stock that moved not only the Nasdaq 100 this week, but major markets around the globe. That stock was chipmaker Nvidia, which reported earnings this week, with Goldman Sachs calling Nvidia the most important stock on earth. The tech index was driven by Nvidia this week, both before and after the chipmaker reported earnings. Before we get into earnings reaction, the bearish flag pattern that we called out in the last video played out in the first half of this week with the Nasdaq 100. And this was due to Nvidia selling off ahead of earnings. There was no other reason here. This was traders taking chips off the table because the expectations were sky high for Nvidia going into earnings. And you can see that with the correlation between the chip maker and the Nasdaq 100. Then came earnings on Wednesday, with revenue up a crazy 265% year on year. I mean, at first, when you see it on screen and think, was that a typo? But no. This was the number that Nvidia reported on Wednesday across all media outlets. Profit also beat expectations, and forward guidance came in above analyst estimates, which saw the stock make a new all-time high and dragged major indices in the US and around the globe to record highs. There are a lot of charts with stats flying around on how big Nvidia now is, but this one stands out for me. Nvidia had the biggest ever single day increase in market cap ever. In terms of the daily chart, pre-earnings, the Nasdaq 100 played out its bear flag, which we mentioned in the last video. Price breached the blue trendline support on Tuesday, only for Nvidia earnings to save the day on Wednesday, with price bouncing off the 40-day moving average. Price today hit a new all-time high of 18,097. When looking at the longer term picture, which goes back to the highs from the dot-com bubble, price has tagged major trendline resistance. We're approaching a critical zone, which bulls need to break through for this rally to continue now. Another concern is market breadth. This chart highlights the lack of equity market breadth, and it's why one chip maker moved markets this week. In terms of levels to watch into the close of next week, I wouldn't rule out a potential squeeze to the upper trend line in red, around 18,165 to 90, to make a new all-time high. But the turning point lower is edging closer now, with the last company of the Magnificent Seven reporting earnings this week. The blue trend line remains a support level, which is key for bulls. With that said, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. And I'll see you at the next one.